All right, it looks like we probably have everybody who might be doing threats. So, on behalf of the board of directors of the society, I welcome all of you. Well, I had a big part in getting this thing up and going. So we appreciate that. We're going to kind of go off the cuff a little bit because unfortunately, Rich Wires, who was going to do some of the history, the speaking, as a family emergency. So, I got away. Only a few hours ago this afternoon. So, bear with. The Windmill has been a year plus since and being done. It was originally a project Christine Rowley and Tom Abel kind of initiated, is that the right word, or kind of got it all together. So we thank them. Christine's in the back. Tom is not here today. And that helped get the thing going. And in January, on a 5-degree day, where was it -5? Just 5.
Cold.
Not much different. We had Tom Habel, Gary Vertassi, Dan Habel, Nick Simoli, and Parker Trent, who picked up the Windmill and put it on a large truck that Bob Eisenhart donated and brought it here. And donated. Christine always needed all that. That's not an easy job. So once we got it over here, we had a team of volunteers. Bob Colehagen, who is where? Right there. And Rich Weiner, who is not here. Weldon, back there. Brave man. He ended up at the top several times doing things to that because he knew what he was doing. And other people didn't necessarily. Sean Bacher, Sean back there. Gordon Mackley. Andrew Russo, who is not here. Son Graham, who's not able to be here. Dennis Blake, and Doug Logan. I believe Doug also climbed up to the top of that at one point. Did I not get you? I apologize. Mike Crusher.
Mike, stand up. Stand up. This guy put in a heck of a lot of time. Sit down.
They did like food. You were right.
Yeah, that crew did a lot of work. From I think every inch of this thing had some kind of work. I'm going to let you talk about it. It was wire brushed and then painted with a special paint. Some people got as much on themselves as they did on the tower, which amazed. And bolts and nuts had to be replaced. So all these things are fixing wires.
Yeah. All the nuts and bolts are replaced with stainless steel, so it should last a long time.
And the wires were all redone. That was a something else task. I watched it. Some night what it didn't. And Suncore it. It's here. Give us a lot of information, a lot of advice. As did Al Collins, who Al passed away last week, and we acknowledge him for all that he did and information that he obtained. And then Clark Atterbury, all with the inner workings of the aero motor.
Yeah.
Friend of Rich's, I believe.
Yes.
Was Stolitz Ridge. Then the late Charles Langolf donated carts and supplies. Bob, do you have any words about that? Or apparently not. I can understand.
Yeah, where is this at? Back here. Oh, thanks. Your grandson back here.
Okay, so thank you for what he did. And then we put out on Facebook to ask just volunteers to help get the tower up, and actually did quite well. Dave Villamy came to that. Dave's in the back.
Raise your hand, Dave.
And Mike Kevin Noah.
Just AC for you to second.
And then there were some other people. One group of people actually just came by and got it up and were gone.
Yeah, we had to. It was in here. We had to move it over for the Heritage Festival, and a group of people came in for about 15 minutes. They all picked it up, carried it over, we set it back down on the sawhorses, and they left. This is the last time I've ever seen it.
And once again, your posse came to rescue us. He volunteered his equipment to dig for the foundation, something we certainly would not have managed on our own. So, Gary, thank you.
Gary's right back here. He's been a huge help on this spot.
Been a huge help with a lot of things around here, and we appreciate it. And this cement that you see was donated by Terry Miller. Terry, somewhere.
Right here.
Over here.
Oh, there you go.
And we appreciate that. He came in, did the work, and did it as a donation to the society. So that was a big thing. Jeff Poland did the grounding rod, which is...
Oh, we're not for it here. Just in case this thing gets struck by light.
Who's thinking of that? It's dead. They told us to had to, so we did. And then Norman, you built these two platforms. Or they pretty much it was running. It's how to keep Kingston with confidence. It does do well now. Then I think we have the word Paisley Beachels. The work was all funded by an anonymous donation and also by Kathy Arley, who gave a donation in memory of one of the natives, which was a huge thing. Kathy's not here, but Anita is. Anita and Eddie, as well as Kathy, have been strong supporters of the society throughout. We appreciate you too. And, of course, the city of Richmond. John Moore, always ready to answer any questions we have or do whatever. I'm sure sometimes he was to shake his head, you go, what are those people up to next? So we appreciate the city's support. We appreciate your willingness to feed here, and every event we have, John is there showing his support. So that's a biggie. As I'm looking around, this isn't necessarily the Windmill, but there's a couple other people I'd like to acknowledge. Charlotte, who was asking, do stand up, has a big hand in managing our garden. So the beautiful flowers you see over there, she's one of the people working on that. And unfortunately, Marcia, who's our master gardener and also a member of the board, was not able to be here tonight. She has been dealing with her mother's illness. Charlotte and crew have stepped up, and I think Marcia be benefit there. Mary Ellen Shepherd Logan, always willing to do flyers and that kind of thing. Brought cookies, which will sing the Windmill theme. She's always willing to do things, and we appreciate it. Jason in the back with the video camera. Again, City of Richmond, just wonderful in terms of documenting our projects and being there, and we really appreciate it. I'm going to let Norm tell you a little bit about Windmill history.
She told me I have to tell you a little bit.
I'm going to be sitting. There's the challenge, Norm.
There's the challenge.
Should we give all those people a flow and free start?
Yeah. Yeah, the altitude. Yeah. The air motor windmill company got started in 1888. The first year they produced 24 windmills. They built their first factory in Chicago in 1890, and in 1892 they sold 20,000 windmills, and it really caught on because they had a guy who tested various vanes to see how efficient they were, and this was like 80% more efficient than the wood vane type. So it really took off. I always thought of windmills as just pumping water, when I have never seen a windmill do anything else but pump water. But there are pump jacks and that can be hooked up to this to run corn sheller. They can be run power saws, various feed cutters, other specialty items, and the air motor company had those things available. In 1904, they had those things available. They had come very efficient in their production and were able to cut their costs by 1 to 1/6 of what it cost before. They could sell the windmill, which is on top there, not the tower, the windmill for $25 when they had been selling it for $150. Well, so they had gotten the price down through the various mass production techniques. One of the things that they are famous for is that they came up with a oiling system so that the thing would be lubricated properly. And their system was so efficient that you only had to go up maybe once a year to do the maintenance on it versus once a week. Okay, so that made it a lot different. This windmill is a model 602, and it was produced between 1925 and 1933. In 1933, the model 702 came out. The company itself is still in existence today, and I'll get to a little bit more about that. The tower, from the best that I can tell, until somebody tells me it's something different, is not an air motor tower. It is a Dempster tower, and it uses twisted wires and special washers that when you turn the washer, it puts tension on the wires, make it, free it up tight. The company was sold a variety of times after 1958. It was sold to various places, and at one point in time it was in Argentina where they were manufacturing down there. They came back to San Angelo, Texas in 1986, and in 2006 a private group of West Texas ranchers purchased the company, kept it there, and the main thing is that they restored the original name, which is the Air Motor Company. The Air Motor Company, which you can see on it there. Is that short or not?
Not sure enough.
Okay.
All right, Jamie, would you like to? Jamie Green is our state rep.
Yes. Former city council member, so I watched this go on for quite some time now, which has been a blessing as a community member, watching all you fantastic historical society members complete yet another project in our beautiful village that we have here in Richmond. And so I have a dedication. Let it be known that it is with sincere pride and great personal pleasure that we gather here in Richmond's historic village to pay tribute and commemorate the dedication of this historic windmill that stands proudly before us. This iconic structure serves as a symbol of our rich heritage, of the hard work and determination of those who came before us. From its creaking sails to the rhythmic turning of its blade, This windmill whispers the tales of our past, echoing the efforts of our ancestors who toiled the land and harnessed the power of the wind to fuel their dreams. This historic windmill was donated to the Richmond Area Historical and Genealogical Society by Loretta Gore of Casco Township, whose father-in-law transported the windmill in sections from Wisconsin nearly half a century ago. The windmill and the air motor 602 produced in Chicago between 1916 and 1933 is estimated to be 100 years old, adding to its historic value. The windmill has taken its place alongside other historic structures donated to Richmond's historic village. We have our cabin from Lenox Township, a schoolhouse from Richmond Township, a train depot from Columbus Township. The dedication of this windmill was no small feat, and it required the collective effort of passionate members of our community, who the Gibsons all mentioned. From donors to worker crews, the transportation, restoration, and erection of this historic windmill in Richmond's historic village has been a community effort. So in special tribute, therefore, we celebrate the dedication of this historic windmill, which symbolizes the unwavering commitment and unwavering belief in the value of preserving our history and our heritage. Signed by myself, State Representative Jamie Green, and our Senator Dan Lowers. So here, I don't know which one of you wants to receive this.
Did you get that comfortable with the security?
There you go.
We'll say, I'll go on the weird.
Oh, and a way. Oh. One thing that I did.
I got to think of art shot.
Oh, well, it shouldn't be me. It should be everybody who worked on this.
One thing I did forget to mention that Norm brought up, this was a dream of Warren Schwartz, who passed away, 3 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. He was from Casco Township. He was a charter member of the society, and his dream for this area was to have something from the city of Richmond and for each of the townships. And as Jamie mentioned, we have Lenox, we have Columbus in the depot, Richmond Township with the schoolhouse. The barn represents the city, and this completes with representing Casco. So I did invite Karen. She is not here, but I really appreciate this treatment. So we will let you two. I do.
All right. You want to do this?
And if not, everybody was very hard to make the cover.
Here we go. By the way, this rope was made on one of our machines in here out of bale coffee. So it's another historic thing here.
So we just pull?
This pull.
All right.
Third.
Cranking it.
Go out, Lynn.
It's saying the thought I was dead.
So, as per usual, the wind doesn't blow when it's turning us up. But we have another little item here. Was it Vernon? I can't raise it. I can't.
Not here. It's a dog. You know that ball thing that. It howls yet. It's all. It'll take us a while to get started.
One of the other things that we have here that is for our younger visitors to use is a pitcher pump. In this county in 1960, the census showed that there were 1,000 households that did not have indoor plumbing. 1,000 households. And Macomb County had the third highest standard of living of all the counties in the country. Probably because there's so many auto workers here. Yeah. Now, back in the day, if you wanted water in the kitchen sink, you had a pitcher pump at the side of the sink that brought water out of a cistern or something like that. And that's what we have here is a pitcher pump that young people can use. And that's where I need to have you help me, young man. So we have a hands-on type of thing that young people can use. And if I could have the rest of the young people come up, take a turn, that would be great. While we wait for the windmill to turn.
Yeah. kind of thing. Because the building that one of the hands and put it. I would
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but okay. We have a windmill story coming up right here.
I said, I am so thrilled to have this windmill in here. And I have to share a windmill story from my family. I grew up over in Rockford, and our family has a farm. It's been a family for 150 years. So the Keaches always had a windmill, and they had running water and flush toilets because of the windmill that had water. My other grandparents did not have flush toilets because they had a well with the pump. So to store the water for the house use, if you went up the back stairs of the house, it was an old farmhouse with 2 sets of stairs. There were 2 horse snakes, 3 times the size of that, stacked one on top of the other. And that's where the water would be stored until it was used. Well, as a kid, I would have to go up the back stairs to go to my bedroom when I visit my grandparents. Every time I went up the stairs, I was sure I was going to be washed down by one of those things that were going to break open and push me right down the stairs. So it's so thrilling to see a real honest-to-goodness windmill. My cousins who live at the farm yet have taken it down, and I wish they hadn't, but they did. But it was so fun as a kid to see that windmill going and hear the pump going and know where it was stored. And as I said, my other grandparents were just fortunate, so there was outhouses. And I went to a great school, one-room school like this, with outhouses as well. They didn't have a windmill to mount it, so it really means a lot.
Thank you. Hey, got offered.
I guess at this point, we so get some drink and or you have
Please, and if anybody wants to.
Where did it come? Let me see it. Was it standing or was it? I can read it down.
On Lindsay Road, you were pamphlets outside of the list. Just go past that on the right-hand side.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the trees on here, the wooding and a tree walk down. What's the
we have another announcement here.
Our cemetery walk is coming up September 30th. We're portraying 5 local people again at the City of Richmond Cemetery. So you should hush via Facebook, and tickets will be available next week.